It's a really special place because it's one of only 4 tiny little fragments of undrained fen that's left. Being a wetland, it relies on water, and the summers are becoming drier, so we need to make sure that we can keep it as wet as possible. That wet soil is locking in carbon, and it's keeping it in the ground rather than being released into the atmosphere. What we're doing here is we're restoring the landscape. I'm Ajay Tegala, a wildlife television presenter and a countryside ranger. A group flew high overhead, and it was just amazing to realise that these were actually resident birds that I was seeing in the UK. Cranes are making a comeback and are once again breeding here. Bats on the wing, they look so powerful and so sort of fearless, but when you see just how small they are, they look very vulnerable. Suddenly, there's exciting news from elsewhere. I'm sort of torn because I'm so fixed to the screen, and yet I feel like I'm missing out them flying above my head. And as the technology becomes more available and more accessible, more and more people can get involved and contribute data, and it just becomes exponential. We're looking out for a special bird called the marsh harrier, and there's not many of them in the UK, about 600 pairs, but 50 years ago there was just 1 or 2.
Just 1 or 2?
Yeah, they were nearly extinct. We're looking just beneath the surface for the cases from which the adults have emerged. And actually there's one here.
Crane flies, are they considered pests?
Well, they are actually, because they do kill grass and they can damage crops as well. But they do a really important job for the ecosystem. Birds will eat them, spiders, frogs, toads, and even fish. But that one is a male.
Oh, and how can you tell?
If you have a look at the end of its body, can you see it's kind of got a square end to it?
Yep.
Whereas if I pass you the female now, see how that compares. It does give you a sense of sadness, but also a sense of hope and actually determination that we need to create more space, we need to create more habitat and join up more of these nature reserves, make it much better for wildlife and therefore better for people. And this area behind me here is one of my favourite spots on the whole farm because it's great for wildlife. And it's great to see that wildlife is actually living naturally alongside England's bustling capital. Ascending higher and higher and higher until it's just a mere speck in the sky. The song of the skylark is so hearty, so lively, so energetic.